Good day and welcome to the second video of Blacktop Media, the Biker Life. Thanks to everybody who subscribed to my channel, all the people who viewed the previous video. It's deeply appreciated. And the only way we're going to get the video out, make this go viral, is by sharing. So for those of you who didn't subscribe yet, and those of you who didn't view the video or share the video, please do so. In this edition of Blacktop the Biker Life, we're taking a look at the general culture within the biking community. I don't know abroad how the bikers are that side, but what I've heard and what I've discussed with certain bikers overseas, it seems that we all have a lot of similarities when it comes to our culture. One thing that the public has to understand: the bikers goes to the extreme. They can become extremely loyal. They love deeply, and they can become extremely offensive, defensive, and violent when the occasion arises. The reason for this is because we are wired differently from the normal society. We look at things differently. We feel things differently than the normal society. And one of the things that's very close to our hearts, very close to each and every biker out there's heart, and you can talk to any club, any biker, they have been involved in some sort of charity. The reason why bikers are usually so involved in charity is for the simple reason: we are privileged. We are privileged to do what we do on a daily basis. We're privileged to be able to jump on a motorbike and feel the freedom we do. It's a feeling you can't explain. It's a feeling you can't portray. You can't draw a picture of it. You can't make a painting. You can't write a poem. It's just a supernatural feeling within your soul that moves your whole being. When you're part of a brotherhood or part of this awesome alternative lifestyle. So, because we feel privileged, we made the choice that we have to give back something to the community. Because there's a lot of people out there that will never understand, will never feel the privilege we do, and the freedom we do when we're on a motorcycle. Living close to death is the only way that you really can feel alive. And every time we jump on a motorcycle, we know the cards are stacked against us. You get reckless drivers, poor road conditions, poor weather conditions, oil on the road. Whatever the case may be, we understand the risk we take every time we jump on a motorcycle. And we're thankful every time we get off the motorcycle. It's an achievement for each and every one of us. And it's a feeling that doesn't go away. It lasts every time we jump on a bike. If it's a cruiser, super bike, adventure bike, every time you jump on your motorcycle, it's a different feeling. But the core remains the same. The thrill remains the same. Never dies down. Never get tired of it. I remember the first time I took a long road trip. I was riding a Yamaha R1, and we drove all the way from Nelspruit to Fairview Beach in Durban. Problem was, we were driving almost about 4 or 5 hours in deep mist, and after the mist was gone, we hit rain. And by the time we got to Fairview, it was already 12 hours on the road. And yeah, it was quite an experience. I'll never trade it for anything else. I'm glad I went through it. We had some good times on the road, some bad times, some really bad times where we came across an accident where young individuals passed away, and that still haunts me till today. Again, that's I can say the fiber of being a biker is that you feel emotional about a loss of life, especially with somebody you know, especially if it's somebody within your brotherhood. So yeah, it's quite we experience things quite differently. For instance, if a biker goes down, even though I don't know him, I still feel for his families, his friends, his club. The reason being is, as I said, we all feel deeply about one another. We've got an unspoken bond, and each biker that goes down, each biker we lose is a biker less to carry the culture forward. Um, yeah, I've got a lot of criticism from family and friends about the lifestyle I chose, but I was a young guy when I came to this realization. That was even before I discovered motorcycling and biking and this brotherhood. Was that the day you finish school, you're going to start working. And you'll work until the day you're going to you retire. Some people passed away, like my late father passed away before he had the opportunity to retire. Other people will live for like maybe 4 or 5 years after. So you have to work for like 30, 40 years to experience 5 years, to relax for 5 years. And my late father always said, you only live once. And I'm going to disagree with that. You live every day. The choice you make is how you live it. Do you really live your life or do you just exist? And I think I speak for every biker out there that we chose the late latter. We chose that uh, we want to live every day. We want to enjoy life every day. And that's why we're so passionate about whatever we do. We're so passionate about motorcycling. We're so passionate about charity work. We're so passionate about defending our friends, our family. I mean, if you're part of a brotherhood, if you really have true biker friends in your inner circle, it doesn't matter how big the problem is. These guys will always jump up and down to try and help you. For instance, I had an issue where I didn't have transport. I had to go and fetch a motorcycle 200 plus k's away. Finances wasn't what it was supposed to be, but one of my friends, one of my brothers, they lent me their bakkie. Like for those who don't know what a bakkie is, a pickup truck with a full tank of diesel, and we drove down to go and fetch the motorcycle. So that just shows you the type of people we are, the type of people that really forms part of this brotherhood. Unfortunately, you get what we call posers. We get the guys that's in it for the image purposes. We get guys that they look the part, they sound the part, but in actual fact, they don't believe what we do. They don't have that core moral values as what we do, what we experience. And unfortunately, it's difficult um, to see those guys before it's too late, and that's why bikers is such a close knitted family or close knitted organization or culture, because we scared. We're scared to lose what we have. We're scared to lose this values that was brought into us, forced onto us, and installed in our souls uh, by the previous bikers. That's where the terms honor, loyalty, and respect comes in again. We honor the fallen ones. We honor the bikers that came before us. We honor the structures that was put in place before we even knew we wanted to ride. We respect our elders for the simple fact that these guys been around the block. They know what it's about, and we can learn a lot about it. And we are loyal to the biker code. We're loyal to one another because we don't have anyone else. We don't have anybody else that understands what we're going through. We don't have anybody else that understands the conflict we have within ourselves every day. And a lot of bikers, a lot of us, we use this lifestyle to get some balance in our lives. Some of us got an agitating soul. That means we're restless. We can't sit down. We can't function like in normal society. And the only way for us to have some sort of balance is by doing what we're doing. So for the guys out there that never ridden a motorcycle, that despises bikers, I want to quickly tell you something about us that a lot of you don't know. the general picture you have of a biker, of this badass guy, big arms, huge beard, long hair, full of tattoos, that's stereotypical. Yes, we have guys like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the majority of bikers, the majority of the modern biker today, is a guy with a wife, kids at home, and these guys, they do this for their own purposes. Like for me, I really do ride to get some sort of balance in my life, and a lot of people are like that. They have to do something to calm themselves down, to calm their souls, to get their focus back, to provide for the families. And every time you cut off a biker and he goes down, you're risking the life of not just a biker, you're risking the life of a father, of a brother, a son. And I mean, unfortunately, one of my brothers, different chapter, he was in a fortunate incident where he had to look as his father passed away right in front of him on the road. And this is the reality we are faced with on a daily basis. This is the fear that our loved ones have to go to bed to when we're on the road. It's not because we're reckless. Yeah, some of us, yeah, we do take chances. We do stupid stuff. But the majority of the bikers, we do this because this is like counseling. It's like psychology. It's psychology for us. And if you're not part of this brotherhood, if you're not part of this union, this bond we have, you'll never understand. You'll never come to terms with why we do what we do. So if you do feel that you as a person want to grow your knowledge about bikers, my best bet is make friends with a biker. I don't mean go out and buy a motorcycle and join the nearest club. No, that's what I'm not saying. I'm saying make friends with a biker and you'll have a friend for life. Loyalty is a very, very a strong thing for us. Loyalty is the glue that keeps us going forward. And even though a lot of people in the biking community, and I'm not going to call them bikers because a biker will never do that, is untrustworthy. The majority of people out there, you can trust with your life. Simple fact remains, and the simple fact is there that the way we do things and the way we see things is different from the guys outside. It's different from the normal day-to-day Joe, everyday Joe. We really do feel deep. We do feel with a different part of our hearts than the normal society do. I mean, when we, as I said, when we love deeply and we love strongly. But when we hate fiercely. We don't have end. We can forgive easily, but we will never be able in a position to forget. To lose the trust of a motorcyclist or a biker, to lose the trust of a biker, you'll never be able to get it back fully. You'll be able to get it back partially, but never fully. You'll never be able to have that same trust you had for anyone that does you wrong or does you in. And that is where the major conflicts comes in with the biking community. It's people breaking the core values and the moral values of being a biker. That's where the most conflict comes from. That's where the most violence erupts from. It's not because the one guy disagrees with another guy. We have ways of dealing with that. We have ways to ensure that we resolve any issues. But one issue that's very, very difficult for us, very difficult for us to resolve without being violent or being in a certain way, is when the three core beliefs of our culture is being broken. If you dishonor, disrespect, or betray one of your brothers, this is considered to be a big taboos. This is like in the Bible, they talk about the 7 deadly sins, 7 sins that the Lord hates. Viking community, we've got 3 deadly sins. Those are the 3 deadly sins. And yeah, it's nice to see that let's say I've got an issue with another member of another club. Instead of me confronting the issue, I report the matter to my president, and he will arrange a sit down. And you won't believe how many times that that person's club sorts him out, without us ever lifting a finger or ever approaching him. The reason for that is because we all work on the same honor system. We all work with the same beliefs, and we're all very defensive of our culture. We're very defensive of the image that we portray out there. That's yeah. And the reason why we do charity work, and there's no other reason for that. Some people say it's because we want to improve our image. We don't care what other people think of us. We don't care. If you don't like bikers and you don't like bikes, I'm not gonna try and convince you to like bikes. But if you do understand our culture and you do understand who we are, I promise you today, you'll have a different opinion about us. We don't do charity work to improve our image. We do charity work because, as I said, we are privileged to be able to do what we do. We're privileged to be here. We're privileged to experience this life that very few people do. Ask yourself, at the end of your life, where do you want to be? Do you want to be in a perfectly preserved body, passed away of old age or illness or whatever the case may be? Or do you want to go into a well-used body, full bumps, bruises, scars, sliding in sideways into your grave and saying, what a ride? You see, the thing is, if you stand at the end of your life, you have to ask yourself, did I live my life to the fullest? Or did I slack off? Was I too scared? That is a choice that each and every individual has to make. But in the biker community and the biker culture, we made our choice that we are willing to live every day. We're willing to risk everything to be alive. Not to exist, but to be alive, to enjoy what we're doing. You die once, but you live every day. The question is, how do you live? What is your values, your core? What is moving your soul? What is getting your blood pumped? And let me tell you today, if you ever decide to get into the biking culture, it will be the biggest step you'll ever make. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to try and keep my videos to 20 minutes every time, not to bore you too much. As I said, this is a chat channel. For the next edition, I'm going to try and see if I can't release it by Wednesday. If I can't, then I will keep you guys updated. But the next video I'm going to talk about how to get involved in biking, what's the do's, the don'ts, what do you have to look out for. So this is actually going to be a nice video for all the non-bikers and all the newly bikers to get a better understanding of what it takes from the hang-around period all the way to becoming a full patch member. So that is my aim for the next video. So I'm gonna definitely talk to you guys about it. We're gonna look at the different methods of getting into biking and the different cultures. Yeah, believe it or not, within the biking community there are subcultures. So we will discuss that in the next video. But up until then, keep the rubber on the road, be safe, watch out for one another, peace out.